Epstein abuse survivors have fought for their voices to be heard, and they're doing so again today in a letter to the House Oversight Committee. 21 of them and family members, all but begging Congress not to trust Maxwell. They say her record makes one fact unmistakably clear. Ms. Maxwell's sole motivating force is self-interest. Comes as a new PSA has dropped ahead of the Attorney General's potentially explosive hearing in front of Congress later on this week. Here's a bit of that.
After years of being kept apart, we're standing together.
Standing together.
Because this girl deserves the truth.
Because she deserves the truth. Because we all deserve the truth.
One of the women you saw there is joining us now, Jess Michaels. She is an Epstein abuse survivor and is here with us in Washington. Thank you again for being with us, Jess.
Thanks for having me, Hallie.
Courage is contagious. It feels like that's the message, too, from the PSA. Tell me about it. How important was it for you to get this message out, in particular this week?
It was really important because I think that the story can get a little bit lost in all of the headlines, and something very important is happening this week. First of all, Ghislaine Maxwell was being deposed, and then also Pam Bondi is giving testimony, and I haven't heard anyone talking about that.
Yeah.
So this was a push to say, hey, this story isn't over, we haven't gotten justice, and we need to hear from Pam Bondi what she thinks of the job that the DOJ did, the poor job.
Well, let's talk about Bondi in a minute, but I want to start with Mac. You referenced the other thing that happened.
Yes.
Ghislaine Maxwell, who apparently answered no questions. The Republican leading the investigation, James Comer, said it was disappointing. They had a lot of questions for Ghislaine Maxwell. Her attorney said she's invoking, obviously, her Fifth Amendment right. She's pleading the Fifth. And then suggested, as we laid out, that she would be willing to speak fully and honestly and openly if she were granted clemency from President Trump. What do you make of that?
Well, first, you only claim the Fifth if you've done something wrong. You only claim the Fifth if you're worried that something you're going to say is going to incriminate you. I think that that's something for people to remember.
It is a constitutionally protected right, but yes.
Right, but yes. So
but on the clemency piece of it, this potential pardon that has been floated by her team and before.
Yes.
Now, again, obviously out there in this statement from her attorney, President Trump has not definitively ruled it out.
Yeah, she's already living under the second sweetheart deal. She's already in a cushy prison.
That's a reference to her transfer.
Yes. Okay. And, you know, it's a struggle for all of us to even know she's there for everything we know that she did. So the idea that this president would even consider allowing her out into the public, into someone's neighborhood, is absolutely horrific, unbelievable. And I think it would sadly tell the American people a lot, but it seems like there are a lot of things the American people are hearing, and I don't know if they're believing.
What do you mean by that?
Because if people should be horrified that she is in this cushy Camp Fed, and I'm not hearing enough people upset about that. The idea that this woman that has a history of lying, who on the record perjured herself, how could anyone trust her now? And why would that even be entertained in any way?
You and I talked back when she was interviewed by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche months ago now. And now his boss is going to be on Capitol Hill, as you say, just 48 hours from now. The Attorney General, we know that some survivors have said they will be there. They will be there for that hearing.
Yes.
Do you plan to attend?
Yes.
Tell me why.
We plan to be there because we're hoping she sees us sitting there. And she understands for even a fraction of a moment that we see her. We see what's happened with this Department of Justice rollout of the files. It is, by any stretch of the imagination, a disaster, harmful, and does not set a safe precedent even for the future if anything like this ever happens again.
Just to clarify why you say it's harmful, because of missing redactions, because of, in some cases, over-redactions.
Because of over-redactions, because people are being protected while victims are being harmed, right? And doesn't this send a horrific message globally that there's a shifting culture here to not listen to survivors, to not protect survivors? I feel like it's a way that this administration is overtly protecting a predator like Ghislaine Maxwell and not protecting survivors.
I want to pull on that thread a little bit because we just had a report from our correspondent in London there who talked about how, you know, the Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Prince William and Princess Kate today said in their statement, we want to respect the survivors. We want the voices of the victims to be heard. Yep. Do you feel like here in the United States that your voice is being centered?
Oh, not at all. I mean, in certain instances, like you have had us on, you've spent time with us. There are journalists that care. There are places where we are being heard by people, but we're not being heard, protected, or feel safe with this Department of Justice or this administration at all.
What is your message then to Pam Bondi? If you were to have an interaction in the hallway with her or whatever on Wednesday, what would you say to her, Jess?
I think I've said this before, and I don't know if it was with you. I actually had hope when she walked out of that White House with the binders and she said, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I thought, here's a strong woman, even though I don't agree politically, but here's a strong woman that is known for fighting sex trafficking in Florida. I had a fraction of hope that she was going to be the one to make a difference. So I would let her know how incredibly disappointed I am in her as a woman, and as a woman of power who is afraid to stand up to bullies, which we understand.
Before I let you go, I know that every time this comes up in the headlines, it's re-traumatizing in so many ways. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I'm really learning how to balance taking care of myself. I have to work at it. But it's getting easier, and I think that the other thing that the administration doesn't understand is we are acclimating to this pressure. We are acclimating, and we are coming out stronger every time we have to face it.
Jess Michaels, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate your time, and I have a feeling we'll be talking again in the hours and days to come.
Yes. Thank you, Hallie.
Thanks, Jess.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.